Yes, people, this is Zan Sports News TV. Yes, the upcoming IBF heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. This will be a classic. Be prepared to witness a war. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm telling you. This is going to be a war. I'm not too sure about the result of the fight because I see it as a 50-50 fight, but I see this fight as a war, so get ready for a war. The way how I see the fight goes down, in the earlier rounds, Anthony Joshua, is more likely to win the fight, but once again, I believe if Daniel Dubois can weather the storm and he's improved on his defense and his head movement and his footwork, if he can make it into the fourth round or the fifth round and he steps up the gears and he puts his foot on the accelerator and he makes Joshua's tank drained out, wears him down, I believe Daniel Dubois can get a late stoppage. If the fight goes into the ninth round or beyond, I think Daniel Dubois can get a stoppage win on Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't say Daniel Dubois would knock him out with one spark out punch, knock him out cold with one punch, but I believe he is capable of getting a TKO stoppage in the late rounds. Anthony Joshua is better technically. His punches are a little bit more crisper, but I think Daniel Dubois has a bit more thud to his punches. He puts more conviction into his punches. He leans more of his body weight into the punches, and that's where most of Daniel Dubois' damage comes from. Technically Anthony Joshua is better, but Daniel Dubois is a lot more aggressive, very strong, and he is always willing to scrap with you toe to toe. But Anthony Joshua is a little bit more skillful, more technical. A lot of people think it's an easy fight for Anthony Joshua, early night and an easy fight, but I don't think it will be like that. If Anthony Joshua does win, he can win, it's possible, but it won't be an early night win. If Anthony Joshua was to win, I would say probably 7 or 8 rounds. But after 8 rounds, if it goes into the 9th, then I think it will favor Daniel Dubois. But it just depends on how much Daniel Dubois, how he paces the fight, because I've noticed Anthony Joshua, he doesn't like fighting at a high tempo. He likes to pick his shots, and he does weaken down his opponents, but he likes to pick his shots. He's more of a counter punching fighter. Anthony Joshua has a lot of weaknesses himself. A lot of Anthony Joshua fans don't want to know the truth, but is reality. The truth hurts. So if you don't want to take it on board, then that's down on you. There's a lot of stubborn trolls on YouTube, I've ne that. Very arrogant, saying it's going to be an easy night's work for Anthony Joshua. I don't think so. I joke to you not, Anthony Joshua had a sparring session with David Price many years ago, I think the late 2000s, and David Price outboxed Anthony Joshua's head off and ended up stopping him in the sparring session. Anthony Joshua got battered in that sparring session, and he even admitted it. You get what I'm saying? So Anthony Joshua has a lot of weaknesses himself. A lot of people make it out like he's a Terminator or a Superman or whatever. No way. Anthony Joshua's got a lot of weaknesses himself. He's got a suspect chin, and the way how I see the fight goes, depending on who wants it the most, is depending on how much heart Daniel Dubois has got. A lot of people call him a quitter. I don't think that's the case. I'm going to mention that in a minute. So it's down to Daniel Dubois' heart or Anthony Joshua's chin. Is those two factors. And last time when I did a previous vlog, I made a mistake saying, I made a slight error. Daniel Dubois put more pressure on Alexander Usyk than Anthony Joshua did. Daniel Dubois was trying to make it into a fight, but he just came up short. He just didn't have enough technical ability and skill to deal with Usyk. Usyk's just too quick and agile. He's got too much agility and stamina. So that's what that was his downfall. A lot of people thought that Daniel Dubois knocked down Alexander Usyk. I'm kind of 50-50. It's a very tough one to judge, but I think that knockdown messed up Daniel Dubois' confidence, and he just dipped his head down and lost all confidence, and that's what messed him up. But Daniel Dubois was trying to turn it into a fight, and Usyk didn't like it in the earlier rounds. He didn't like it. I think in the end Usyk got more comfortable, but when he knew that Daniel Dubois was roughing him up with body shots, he didn't like it. But when Anthony Joshua fought Alexander Usyk, he was trying to turn it into a boxing match. If Anthony Joshua roughed him up a bit more and used more of his weight onto him, I think maybe he could have done more, but I'm not 100% sure if he would have beaten Usyk. Who knows? If we get a trilogy, then maybe Anthony Joshua will bring the best out of himself. Who knows? But Anthony Joshua has got weaknesses himself, and a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, so that's down to you. A lot of people saying Dubois is going to get knocked out so easily. It's going to be a destructive knockout for Anthony Joshua. It's going to be so easy. Well, I can't remember Anthony Joshua knocking out on Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin gave him problems all night long, made Anthony Joshua's life hell. You got what I'm saying? I cannot remember Anthony Joshua knocking out Jermaine Franklin, and Jermaine Franklin hasn't got the same type of power and ability as Daniel Dubois. So I don't know how that is possible to say Anthony Joshua is going to knock out Daniel Dubois so easily. It's a possibility it can happen, but how come Anthony Joshua never knocked out Jermaine Franklin? That's what I want to know. And I've already mentioned Anthony Joshua having problems with Andy Ruiz, having problems with 38 Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko put him on the canvas as well. Alexander Povetkin gave Anthony Joshua a bloody nose. A lot of people forget about that. Gave Anthony Joshua hell until the 9th round. Anthony Joshua caught him, and stopped the fight. And even Robert Helenius was peppering Anthony Joshua with a jab, gave him a bloody nose and a busted lip as well. So Anthony Joshua has his weaknesses too. So this is not going to be an easy night. If anything, if Anthony Joshua was going to win, it will probably be 7th or 8th round. But if it goes further than that, I think it will suit Daniel Dubois if Daniel Dubois puts his foot on the accelerator and goes up the gears. But whatever happens, this is going to be a war. This ain't going to be no one-sided fight. It's going to be a very even fight until one man catches the other. Anthony Joshua has a lot of power on his side, so has Daniel Dubois. Both fighters are going to feel each other's abilities on the night. So this is a evenly matched fight. A lot of people might disagree, but that's on you. Daniel Dubois is a lot better than people think. And just because Joe Joyce took Daniel Dubois' punches, it doesn't mean Anthony Joshua will. Joe Joyce has got a much better chin than Anthony Joshua. I'll make another video about that one soon.